Hello, my name's Martin. I live in Cheltenham and I am Finley's and Ishbels' granddad. Welcome to today's story called The Man Whose Mother Was a Pirate. And there she is, hanging out the washing and with some pirate tea towels as well. There's once a little man who had never seen the sea. Although his mother was an old pirate, the two of them lived in a great city far from the seashore. The little man always wore a respectable brown suit and respectable brown shoes. He worked in a neat office and wrote down rows of figures in books, ruling lines under them. And there you can see his mother hanging out her pirate washing with her pirate flag. And there's the little man there in his little house looking at all the tall buildings with all the smoke that cities have. Well, one day his mother said, "Shipmate, I want to see the sea again. I want to fire my old silver pistol, see the waves, jump with surprise." "Mother," said the little man, "we haven't got a car, and we haven't got a bicycle, and we haven't got a horse, and we've no money. All we have is a wheelbarrow and a kite." "All we must make do," his mother answered sharply. "I will go and load my pistol and polish my cutlass." And the little man went to work. There they are at breakfast, with her big plate of chips, egg and sausages. And there's the little man at the other end with his little boiled egg in his little brown suit. So off he went to work to speak to his boss. "Please, Mr. Fat," he begged his boss, "please, may I have 2 weeks' holiday to take my mother to the seaside?" "Well, I don't go to the seaside," said Mr. Fat crossly. "Why should you?" "It's for my mother," the little man explained. "She used to be a pirate." "Oh, well, that's different then," said Mr. Fat, who rather wished he were a pirate himself. "But make sure you're back in 2 weeks or I will buy a computer." And there's the little man in the office of Mr. Fat, who has a great big desk, a great big plate of cakes, a cup of tea, and he's got his dog under his desk in the basket. So off they set, the little man pushing his mother in the wheelbarrow and his mother holding the kite. His mother wore a green scarf and gold earrings. Between her lips were her old black pipe, and behind one ear a crimson rose. The little man wore his brown suit buttoned and his brown shoes tied. He trotted along, pushing the wheelbarrow. And here you can see him pushing his wheelbarrow with his mum in it as they leave the smoky town far behind. Oh, and there's the kite that he talked about. As they went, his mother talked about the sea. She told him of its voices. "It sings with a booming voice and smiles as it slaps the ships. It screams or sadly sighs. There are many voices in the sea and a lot of gossip too. Where are the great whales sailing? Is the ice moving in Hudson Bay? What will the weather be like tomorrow?" The sea knows the answers to a lot of questions, and one wave tells another. "Oh yes, mother," said the little man, whose shoes were starting to hurt him. "Where are you off to?" asked the farmer, leaning on a gate. "I'm taking my mother to the seaside," said the little man. "I wouldn't go there myself," said the farmer. "It's up and down, the waves in and out, the tide. The sea doesn't stay put. Only good hills stay put." "My mother likes things that don't stay put," said the little man. There you go. You can see the farmer. He's leaning on his gate, chatting to the man in his nice brown suit. There's the farmer's dog. The dog there with his sheep and some cows also there, watching the farmer talk to the man in his brown suit. Something began to sing in the back of the man's mind. Could that be a song of the sea, he wondered, as he pushed his wheelbarrow His mother rested her chin on her knees. Yes, it's blue in the sunshine, she said, and it's grey in the rain. I've seen it golden with sunlight, silver with moonlight, and black as ink at night. It's never the same twice. They came to a river. There was no boat. The little man tied the wheelbarrow to the kite. A wind blew by, ruffling his collar, teasing his neat moustache. "Hold tight, mother," he called. Up in the air they went as the wind took the kite. The little man dangled from the kite string. His mother swung in her wheelbarrow basket. "This is all very well, Sam," she shouted to him, "but the sea, it tosses you up, pulls you down, it speeds you along, it holds you still, it storms you and it calms you. There's a bit of everything in the sea." "Yes, mother," the little man said. The singing in the back of his mind was growing louder and louder as he dangled from the kite string. White wings of the birds in the sky began to look like the white wings of the ships at sea. Oh, there he is, dangling from his kite with all the seagulls around him and his coat flapping in the breeze, and his mum in the wheelbarrow. The kite let them down gently on the other side of the river. "Where are you going?" asked the philosopher. "I'm taking my mother to the sea," said the little man. "And what a misery," cried the philosopher. "Well, I don't like the sea," said the little. "But now there's this song in the back of my mind. I'm beginning to think I might like the sea when I get there." Go back, little man," cried the philosopher. "The wonderful things are never as wonderful as you hope they'll be. The sea is less warm, the joke less funny, the taste is never as good as the smell." "Hurry up! The sea is calling," shouted the pirate mother, waving her cutlass from the wheelbarrow. Oh, there's the man chatting to the philosopher there under the tree. The little man trundled his mother away, and as he ran he noticed that his brown suit had lost all its buttons. Then something came into the wind's scent. "Glory, glory, there's the salt," cried his mother triumphantly. Suddenly they came over the hill. Suddenly there was the sea. The little man could only stare. He hadn't dreamed of the bigness of the sea. He hadn't dreamed of the blueness of it. He hadn't thought it would roll like kettle drums, swish itself on the beach. He opened his mouth, and the drift and the dream of it, the weave and the wave of it, the fume and the foam of it never left him. At his feet, the sea stroked the sand with soft little paws. Farther out, the great graceful breakers moved like kings into court, trailing the peacock-patterned sea behind. And there's his mum and him dancing on the beach in front of the smashing waves. The little man and his pirate mother danced and danced on the beach. Hippy hoppy happy hornpipes, up and down the beach they did. The little man's clothes blew about in the wind, delighted to be free at last. A rosy sea captain stopped to watch them. "Well, here are two likely people," he cried. "Will you be my boatswain, madam, and you, little man, you can be my cabin boy?" "Oh, thank you," said the little man. "Say aye, aye, sir," roared the captain. "Aye, aye," replied the little man, just as smartly as if he'd been saying "aye, aye, sir" all his life. And that's the captain with his parrot. So Sailor Sam went on board with his pirate mother and the sea captain, and a year later someone brought Mr. Fat a green glass bottle with a letter in it. "Having a wonderful time," the letter read. "Why don't you run off to sea too? And if you want any more moral to the story than this, you must go to sea, find it for yourself." There they are, rowing out to sea captain's boat, which is there. The end.